All right, guys, welcome to another hangout. I'm back in Los Angeles with my normal setup, as you can see behind me. It's good to see everybody already in the chat having a blast talking about, what's going on, the latest. So welcome, guys. I'm excited to be home, and I'm excited to be doing a live hangout from my actual spot here. How's everybody doing? All right. We have a very generous super chat from Chris Gov here. Today was a bit of a rough day for watching Yanks. Got some Testament action, though, LOL. Wasn't able to catch Conrad. Please talk me down and tell me that Berhalter is bringing Conrad. The suspense is killing me. Yeah, I guess we really don't know, if he's going to bring Conrad. I'd say it's very likely, especially because with Pulisic getting COVID, I think there's, a chance he may not be as involved in the first game if he plays there at all. And Arriola getting injured means less wing depth. So I would say there's a good chance, Chris, that he brings Conrad, especially because Conrad's been playing well at a high level. So I don't think you have anything to worry about. But it's Greg. He may surprise us, right? He may not bring Conrad. And that would not surprise me, although I expect him to. With the kind of, 3 games in 1 week and with the depth that we have, I expect him to bring Conrad. So hopefully that makes you feel a little better, Chris, but I'm no expert on Berhalter, so I don't know if you should trust me. But thank you for the super chat. That's very nice. Okay, Sup Pete, got the Chicago Fire in the background. Yes, I've got hang on. It's been a while. There we go. Been a while since I've done this. LAFC, Chicago Fire, and the USA. Yes, the different clubs that I've supported too. Bring on Pepe, says Ivan Henriquez. Yeah, man, I'm with you. I'm hoping we get Pepe, especially because there's a lot of injuries, guys. Zardes is injured. We know that much for sure, so he's not going to be there. DK is not playing for Orlando right now. I don't know if that's just because they're giving him a rest or if that's because he's injured. PFOC, I don't know how serious it is. He did come off and he looked like he was struggling with a back issue. But I don't know if that means he's injured. But I mean, hopefully Hoppy, Sargent, and then either PFOC or Pepe would be my guesses, guys. How you doing? Tiger Turner, Jordan Perdomo, Christian Cox says Pete's back home. Yes, and I'm very happy to be back home, Christian. Very happy to be back. It's been over a month since I've been home, so I'm excited to be here. How are you feeling from COVID for scouting for Pulisic's time frame? Kevin, I'm feeling fine, man. I had a rough little bit there, but I'm feeling fine now. The problem with COVID is that it hits everybody differently, right? For some people, they have long COVID. For some people, they have breathing issues. For some people, it affects their cardio. So it's really hard to say. That being said, Pulisic is vaccinated. And so I think there's a good, and he said he's symptom-free so far. So I think there's a fairly good chance that he's going to be fine, like most footballers have been. That is just a guess, though. I don't know too much about the situation. S27, I think Berhalter will start the Gold Cup final lineup against El Salvador. Nations League guys will play versus Canada and Honduras. Thoughts on this? I think that's very unlikely, S27. I think if he rotates, it will be a mix. I don't think we're going to see a full lineup. There's no way that Gio Reyna doesn't start against El Salvador, in my opinion. And El Salvador is going to be tough, guys. We can't underestimate them. I don't understand El Salvador is the easy game. They're not going to be easy. A lot of their players are already training together, guys, long ahead of us and playing friendlies. So I don't think we should underestimate El Salvador. To be honest, I don't think we should underestimate anybody, And yeah, you can rotate, but you don't rotate the entire team. Maybe you mix and match a little, right? So that's how I will guess it's going to be with the rotation. And then some guys Tyler Adams and Gio Reyna will probably start all 3 games. I don't think they'll play 90 minutes in each game, but I think they'll probably start all 3 games, our most important players. Pulisic, I expect probably to start against Canada, maybe come on against El Salvador as a sub, depending on whether or not they let him in. I don't know if they require a negative COVID test to get into El Salvador. It's a fluid situation, guys. So it's sort of, it's one of those situations we're just going to have to wait and see. But overall, guys, I don't think we should be too worried about Pulisic missing a game. The whole point is we have depth. Brendan Aronson can play there. Tim Weah can play there. Conrad De La Fuente can play there. Heck, Gio could play there if we needed him to. Serginho Dest could play there if we needed him to, left wing, right? So I'm not really that worried about Pulisic being out for one game, and I don't think anybody should be. Now, if we start losing a lot of other important players, Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, Gio Reyna, John Brooks, guys like that, then yeah, maybe you should, I wouldn't say be worried, because we still have the quality, guys, to beat all of these teams, right? So, and I think the Gold Cup showed that to us, right? That we have depth and there is quality in depth. Now, the Gold Cup, like I've said before, very different animal, right? Very different animal. So I don't think it's going to look like the Gold Cup at all. There's going to be higher levels of intensity. I think the speed of play is going to be higher. We're going to be playing away in a lot of games, and every team is going to have their full team there, like all their best players who are available there. So it's not going to be like Gold Cup, I don't think. All right. But all that to say, guys, I wouldn't be too worried about Pulisic. Just my thoughts, okay? If anyone is still wondering if Conrad is ready for World Cup qualifying in CONCACAF, I believe the ending his match today with Marseille proved he is at least ready for the atmosphere. Yeah, I think he's going to be fine, guys. If you can play well in a top 5 league in the world, you can play well in CONCACAF, all right? That's just the truth. Quality is quality, regardless of where it's being demonstrated. And yes, I did see that. That was pretty crazy. Those OGC Nice fans, or as somebody else put it, weren't being very nice. Joshua Simmons, long time, buddy. How you doing? How are you doing? Does Pulisic, Dirk S. Thank you, Ron Gov, by the way. Dirk S. Does Pulisic not play in the first game against El Salvador since he has COVID? Perhaps De La Fuente in lieu of Pulisic. Yeah, again, we don't know exactly what the situation is, right? Like I said, does he recover in time? I think so, yes. But sometimes you can linger with negative testing after you're already fully recovered. And some countries, I know El Salvador might be one of them, require a negative test to enter the country. So he may not be able to enter El Salvador, period, in which case we'll have him for Canada and Honduras. That being said, I think it's a very good chance that because he was vaccinated, he's not going to get much of a case. He could be done in a week and may be fine. He may even play a portion of the game next weekend. So for Chelsea, I mean. So it's just a wait and see situation, guys. I have no more information on this topic than any of you. It's the blind leading the blind here. I'm going by my best guesses that he will probably be fine and travel to El Salvador. That is my guess. I could be wrong. I'll be happy to put my hands up if I am. But I don't think, even if he doesn't travel to El Salvador, I don't think it's something we have to be too worried about. Just my opinion. Okay, Custom G. Unlike some other USMNT fans, I think Lukaku at Chelsea bodes well for Pulisic because his best play has come with Abraham and Giroud at center forward. Yeah, I think having a proper target man up top occupies their center backs, and it depends on his movement. From what we saw today, Lukaku still has very good movement, right? And what he's going to be doing is, because he's making those hard runs in behind, because he's stretching the back line, that creates space in front of the defensive line. So let's bring this up here. Okay, well, that was not very good. So if this is the opponent, and that's Lukaku, right, and he's playing very close to that back line, if he's making those hard runs, he's pulling defenders with him, which then creates space here for a guy like Christian Pulisic. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think that's something to keep in mind. This can also work the other way, okay? If he's playing more of a target man hold-up striker, that's the opponent. This is Christian. Let's say Lukaku comes deep to hold up the ball, right? Now, maybe these players follow him. Maybe one of them follows him, and now Pulisic has more space to get in behind, right? So, yes, I do think you're right. I think having a proper target man center forward will benefit Pulisic. So, yeah, in short, I agree with you, basically. Okay. Where are we? Yes, Custom G. Thanks, buddy. Isaiah Beltran. Pretty lackluster weekend for USMNT or abroad. I mean, I don't know if it was that lackluster. Not every weekend are you going to have people like, scoring goals. Like, there's going to be ups and downs. Pulisic wasn't there. Reina mostly. I thought Reina was really good for Dortmund. Conrad was benched after 2 games of playing really well starting. That was a little surprising. Tessman played. Brooks played. Dest played. Musa is still injured. Adams played really well, by the way. I thought Adams was excellent. So I don't think it was that bad. You just, you can't judge every weekend by the best weekend. Otherwise, your expectations are too high. It's like, judging your woman by when she's, you met, judging your girlfriend by prom, right? When she was all dressed up, makeup and hair done. And then it's like the next morning, you're like, oh, that's not the same person. But you can't judge them by that because that's them at their very best, right? Del Primo, still excited to work with you and Tack on the short film. Hey, Junior, how are you, buddy? Yeah, I'm sorry we haven't gotten to that yet, man. I've been traveling for the last month and I have been, sick with COVID, but we're going to try to get to that this weekend for you, or this week. I'll try to get to you this week, okay? Sorry about the delay, buddy. Guys, before we go any further, let me, we have our quick One Football promo for what's going on. The One Football app is running a special giveaway for the MLS All-Star game on the 25th of August, featuring the MLS All-Stars versus the Liga MX All-Stars. You could win one official MLS All-Stars jersey. That is all yours. You just got to follow these 4 simple steps, guys. Click on the link below, download the One Football app, copy and paste the headline of the first article you see into the app. Tell us who is going to win and why you think they're going to win that game, and enter your details. Do that, and you will be entered to win one MLS All-Star jersey, guys. It's a great jersey. You don't want to miss out. Get going on the link below. All right. So go do that, guys. That's in the link. Travis Hensley says, ready for qualifying, going to the game versus Canada. Good, man. Be loud and proud. Cheer our boys on. That's awesome. That's super cool. Dan W., created Napoli's second goal, and it was his first game back from injury. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about, what's his name? The Mexican fellow, Chucky Lozano? Yeah, I thought he wasn't going to be back in time either, but it looks like he is going to be back in time. So let's wait and see, but not sure how that's too relevant to us. So awkward watching Pete. Okay. Let's see. Christian Cox, you think Pully going to get less minutes now because of Lukaku? No, not necessarily. I think the person that will suffer most from Lukaku is Timo Werner, because they play sort of different positions. Okay. Guys, hit the like button. Yes, Max Deckman says hit the like button, guys. Do that if you haven't done that already. Helps other people to find us. Julian Pinto, how you doing, Julian? Have you heard of Jude Bellings? I'm guessing you're not talking about Jude Bellingham, because that guy I have heard of. Jude Bellings I've not heard about, though. Ruben Villasenor, how are you, sir? Does Triple G go with a 4-3-3 on El Salvador game? I would guess yes, Ruben. Just based on the fact that that's his primary formation that he has favored, I would say yes. Okay, Thomas, when do you expect the roster to drop? What I'm hearing, guys, is Thursday. We're going to hear the roster on Thursday. At least that's what I have heard. Don't at me if it doesn't end up happening, but yeah. All right. What do you think? Okay. Pete, should Pulisic play on the right to accommodate Conrad? No, man. I think that Pulisic is our best winger, and so you put him in his best position, which in my opinion is on the left. And Conrad can be his sub for now. Okay, look, I'm very excited that Conrad is doing well in Marseille, and I think he's got a very bright future. But we have a tendency as a fan base to overreact to a few good performances, or one good performance sometimes, right? We still need to see more of Conrad, maybe get him some sub minutes, right? And this World Cup qualifying is a great time to give him that. But he has to prove that he should earn the start for the USMNT, right? 2 or 3 good performances for Marseille does not automatically mean you should start for us. To be clear, I'd be fine if he started instead of Pulisic against El Salvador, right? But I don't think, he's automatically a starter and we start moving our best, player around to accommodate him. He has to earn that spot and he has to fight it out with Pulisic. And that's what we want, because not only is that going to raise Conrad's game, that's going to raise Pulisic's game too, right? Now Pulisic knows he's got a real contender. And it's not just Conrad, it's Aronson, it's Weah, it's other guys. So we just have to wait and see and not overreact. Look at Joe Scally, right? Great performance on opening weekend. The people putting him in their starting lineup in Qatar already after one good game. I mean, I liked his performance. He was great, but we have to wait and see. And then the next week, we saw a very different Scally, right? We saw a lot more of his weaknesses and stuff. And he's young. That's okay. There's going to be ups and downs, but we can't always overreact to 1 or 2 good performances. We have to, data is collected over time, So that's just, to be clear, guys, I'm happy to bring Conrad, and I think we should bring Conrad. But starting to move Christian Pulisic around to accommodate him, I think that might be a little premature. Ivan Enriquez. Jonathan Lewis on the left, Breck Shea on the right. Burnman 23, thank you for saying that, Pete. Yes, the hype beasts are overreacting. I think that's a fan issue. We tend to overreact a lot. Okay. Do you think Triple G will eventually play Reina wide? Michael Gerritsen, that's all he does. That's his favorite position for Reina. I think what you mean is you think he'll eventually play central. I would say yes, eventually he will play central. Maybe not right away, though. Berhalter does adapt his tactics and does change things, but he's usually pretty slow to do it. Centrally, LOL. Yes, I figured as much. Thoughts on Omar Campos? Fact checker, I actually have no idea who that is. So someone want to enlighten me, that would be great. All right. Wuxia Game Central. What do you think of Juventus trying to sell McKennie? Is that really for sure, or is that just a rumor? Because, guys, I hear a lot of rumors. I don't always put a lot of stock in those rumors. So unless the club actually comes out and says something, I wouldn't worry about it too much. As far as Weston McKennie goes, guys, we have to understand, just like Pulisic, when a new coach comes in, maybe he doesn't like you, maybe he doesn't like your style, maybe he doesn't think that you fit in his plans. And part of playing for elite clubs like Juve and Chelsea means that you have to fight for your spot, right? That's what it means to be at the highest level. There are people just as good as you, or maybe just a little bit better or a little bit worse, but you're all in a very narrow spectrum of quality, right? And you have to convince that coach, the new guy, that you can offer what he wants for the team. And if he doubts you, you have to prove him wrong. Maybe you have to work harder. Maybe you have to adapt to a different position, add something to your game that he wants you to bring, take something out of your game that he doesn't like. That's what playing at the highest level means, and that's what that looks like. So we can't freak out every time one of our players misses a few games. Weston McKennie's a strong guy, mentally, physically. He's got the right attitude, the right mentality from everything we've seen from him. So there's no reason why he can't earn his spot. And even if he doesn't start every game, getting sub minutes for Juve is still pretty good. I'd take it. All right. Samuel Lesowing. Realistically, what are your expectations in the first 2 camps, September and October, points-wise for the USMNT? Okay, so my expectations for the first camp are 7 points. Okay, I would like 9, but I understand that a draw in one of the 2 away games is possible, or even at home with Canada. I don't think we should, but I think that 7 points should be our expectation for this camp in September. Okay? Anything less than 7, in my opinion, is not okay. Okay? I think that's not good. We have the quality and the depth in roster to do a lot better than we have done in the past against CONCACAF teams, and we should be expecting that of our of our players, right? And then in October, we are playing Panama away, Costa Rica at home, and then, hang on, we have Costa Rica at home, we have Panama away, and Jamaica at home. So Jamaica at home, Panama away, Costa Rica at home. Honestly, that should be another 7 points, guys. Like, I can understand maybe a draw in Jamaica, but I don't think, 7 points, guys. 7 points. A draw, okay, here and there, that's fine, but we shouldn't be losing to the only CONCACAF team we should realistically be losing to, especially at home, would be Mexico, which can happen, right? We're still quite evenly matched. So I would say 7 and then 7. That would be my expectation levels. Okay. All right. Did I miss any here? Michael Gerritsen. All right. Yeah, I think I got them all. All right, guys. How are you doing? Lots to talk about. I know the season started. Guys, the season just started. Again, look at Josh Sargent. People are freaking out in the chat about Josh Sargent. Let's talk about him for a second. Josh is just got there, okay, a week ago. They have a guy who they trust, Pookie, 31-year-old Finnish international. Wasn't very good, but their first 2 games are against Liverpool and Manchester City, arguably the 2 toughest games. Let's relax. Let's let Sargent, work his way into the team to start. He's probably not going to start every game. But you know what? If Pookie's not scoring goals, they'll give Sargent a chance. He'll get some starts, and then he has to prove himself, right? That is a guy who, again, it's like McKennie. Sargent has to earn his spot in the team. If it's too easy for him, the 2 Bundesliga, he's playing wide, he's going to score goals. He'll probably get 20 goals. No one's going to challenge him for his spot. He's going to play a bad game, and he's probably going to start the next game after that. I would rather him be in Norwich, really having to fight for his spot, dealing with the intensity and the speed of play and the physicality of the Premier League, having to oust another player. That's what builds strength. That's what builds character. We cannot be a top team in the world if our players are not challenging at the highest levels. So, yes, good for him for going. Good for him for challenging himself. I think he's going to learn a lot, and I think he's going to improve a lot. And I'm happy, guys. I'm not freaking out yet about anybody. We're 2 games into the season, guys. 2 games. Let's all breathe. Let's exhale a little, and let's not overreact. Hoppy to Everton. No, that's not happening from what I've heard. I think very likely Hoppy will stay in the 2 Bundesliga for now. And there's some real issues with that. But overall, at least he's back and healthy and in training. So that's a good William Unger, LOL, you should have seen Rashica last season. It was the same. There's a reason Josh Hartley scored for Bremen. The service was abysmal. Yeah, I saw that when Josh came on. Rashica had a chance to find him in the box, but shot from a tight angle. It ended up going over the net. But that's okay, guys. Look, it's one of those situations. He's going to need time to adapt. He'll get his chance. He'll get his minutes. He'll have to fight for it. That's okay. That's good for Josh. All right. Someone said, Schalke still look trash. Where was it? I missed it. Lane Anderson, Schalke still look trash in the 2 Bundesliga. I know, man. It's a rough situation for Hoppy. I don't know why he signed a new contract. He would have been a free agent. Could have gone wherever he wanted. Why did he sign a new contract? Makes no sense. We have to. Maybe people say, "Oh, loyalty to the club." Guys, we have to be mercenaries. Okay, those clubs don't care about the players. Okay, they have no loyalty to a player. The player's not performing or they're consistently injured. They'll just cut them. They're not gonna this loyalty to the club business makes no sense to me. Okay. It's a contractual relationship, just like you or I have with any of our employers, right? Loyalty to an employer is doesn't make any sense to me because that employer isn't going to be loyal to me. If they can get my value for less pay, they'll probably go for it. That's the same thing. So, okay, Scally got absolutely burned on that goal for Leverkusen. Room to improve for sure. Yeah, Scally still has a ton to learn. That's why we can't overreact to one good game, right? We have to, collect data over multiple performances and evaluate him accordingly. But like I said, sometimes we tend to overreact. So, okay. This is an interesting one with Owen Noticowi, guys. Thoughts on the story about Noticowi from Tiger Turner? Hang on one sec. Okay. So I don't know if you guys saw this. There was a story about Owen Noticowi's attitude at Wolves, that he relied a lot on his ability, natural ability, and wasn't a very hard worker and trying to improve, and was disrespectful to his superiors sometimes. It was a pretty credible source. The Athletic tends to be a pretty credible source. That can happen with young players, right? 18, 19 years old. That can happen. So the question for Owen now is, what's he going to do about it? If he has a problem with his attitude, then he has two choices. That attitude can follow him around and can hamper his progress and, limit his ceiling as a player. Sure, you might be talented, but if you're not willing to work hard, you're probably going to have a limited ceiling as a player, which will limit his, everything about his career, his earning potential, his fame, his sponsorship opportunities, all of that. Or at 20 years old, he can go, okay, I got to change my attitude. I got to knuckle down. I got to work hard. Guys, lots of players have attitude problems when they're young, right? Chucky Lozano, let me give you a classic example. When he was in Pachuca, he used to refuse to train. And his teammates would say, well, why are you not training? And he'd say, well, I don't need to, right? There are lots of classic examples of players with, bad attitudes when they're young. And sometimes that comes with inexperience, and sometimes they grow out of it, but it's largely up to them. And if they don't grow out of it, that'll hamper them. But he'll be left behind if he doesn't grow out of it. So I'm not particularly worried. This is the beauty of the national team, right? We're going to have so many good players. If one player isn't cutting it, we'll have others, So I'm not particularly bothered about that. Okay. Michael Garrison. I really think Hoppy leaves. Schalke need. I think he may go to one of the top teams in the Netherlands. As for the Russia rumor, I'd rather he stay. I have not heard anything about Russia, but he should stay the bleep out of Russia. Okay? I'd rather he be in the 2 Bundesliga than Russia. Because if he plays well in the Bundesliga, he could even get, a, move in January if he plays really well in the first 6 months. So, yeah, I would rather he stay in the 2 Bundesliga. Netherlands is fine. If somebody actually wants to pay for him, I'd be fine with the Netherlands, All right. Nabuto Putin would have Hoppy killed. That said, Owen Noticowi, I didn't hear this, Burnman. Noticowi didn't want to play center back for the U.S. and I think left the camp for it. Well, okay. If he doesn't want to, listen to the coach, then, like I said, that's going to be his problem down the line. Kellen Acosta had similar problems when he was younger. He got kicked out of a camp by Greg too. Let's see how Noticowi adapts now, okay? He does have a Nigerian passport, guys, but he's not locked in with the U.S. He has a Nigerian and an English passport. He can play for both of those other countries. I don't think there's any chance of him playing for England right now, though. Okay. Pete, what are your thoughts on Reggie's club situation? I don't know much about. I think Reggie is still at Boa Vista trying to get out of there. Is that right? I don't know if that's happening. We heard Nice rumors before. At least we heard this from Gianluca Busio in the aftermath of the Gold Cup final. But I don't know how true that is. I'm not. Oh, S27. I'm not ignoring you, buddy. There's just a lot of chats. Pepe over PFOC. I wouldn't take him over him, but I would take him in addition to him right now. Pepe still has a long way to go too, guys. He still has a lot of work to do. High ceiling kid, certainly. But again, PFOC has not impressed me that much either. So about the same probably. If Pifok's injured, I'd be fine bringing Pepe in. I'd be fine bringing Pepe in even if Pifok is there. But for me, there's not a clear one of them is better than the other right now, you know? All right. I am a Red Bulls fan. Christian Cox, Sibachu. You think we got the best academy pathway to Europe? NYRB to Salzburg to Leipzig. It's a good one for sure. They have a very clear plan of progression, so I think that's good. But pathways are different for every player. You know, Tyler Adams went straight to Leipzig because he was that good. You know, Brendan Aronson needs Salzburg up until I think Aronson is at the point where he can leave Salzburg, to be honest, and probably go to Leipzig, I think. But I could be wrong. All right. Devonta Jones. Any rumors about the U.S. roster coming out? Yes, I'm hearing Thursday, Devonta. I'm hearing that we will get the roster dropped on Thursday. So, yes, guys, it's kind of surreal that World Cup qualifying is starting, right? I mean, it's been, 4 years since Cuba almost? And finally, after all the preparation, new generation, we couple of trophies, now, boom, World Cup qualifying. It's all on the line. It's going to be so exciting. I cannot wait. Honestly, it's going to be awesome. All right. I remember Bobby Wood. Is he still living? Yeah, Bobby Wood's back in MLS. Richie Flores, I talked a bit about McKennie already. I don't think he's going anywhere, and I think he should stay. You holding your video for the roster reveal. Frank Kassler, you know me too well, buddy. Yes, so probably not going to have a video on Wednesday. We're going to hold it until Thursday and then discuss the roster. So when the roster drops, Filippo hops on to the live stream. I will probably hop on and do that and just hang out with him. But then I'll do my own video and give you my thoughts on the roster. It's going to be an exciting one. We're talking about 26 to 28 players. All right. Everyone, say hi to my wife, Jenna, from Jonathan Mowbray. Do you think we'll play 3-4-3 or 4-3-3 for the September qualifiers? She's the newest USMNT fan. Jenna, welcome. Welcome to the USMNT fandom group. I apologize. We're a crazy bunch, but we're a hell of a lot of fun. Welcome. I think we're going to play 4-3-3, Jonathan. That's Greg's preferred formation and the formation he knows well. And he's probably going to go with continuity for the qualifiers, which is a good thing, right? You want continuity. Right. Other than games, roster live streams are the best. Awesome, Kevin. Okay. Jenna. Okay. Carter Hazlitt. Pete, do you follow the USWNT at all? I do when there's like a World Cup or, World Cup or like Olympics, when there's like a tournament or something, then yes. But I just don't have the time to follow the USWNT. I don't have time to follow all the American male players. So I love the USMWNT, but mostly when there's a tournament to go win, like a World Cup or an Olympic medal or something. And even then, I don't get to watch every single game. It's more just a time issue than anything else. Okay. Lee Woodcock. Everyone hit the like button. Yes, guys. Hang on. According to Alex Calabresi, said the World Cup qualifying roster would be on Tuesday. I have not heard that. So I hope he's right, because that would be 2 days earlier than what I said. He might be right. Alex usually has some pretty good sources, so he may be right about that. And if it releases on Tuesday, guys, I will absolutely do the video Tuesday. Okay. Apologies in advance from Stephen Nagishi. Yeah or nay on Sargent's decision to join Norwich City? They look like a hot garbage already, much like Bremen. Stephen, I actually don't think they look like hot garbage. They've just had to play two really tough teams. But I like the way that Norwich is playing. They're playing with courage. They're not just sitting back and bunkering and lumping the ball down the field for a striker to chase. When yes, of course they had to do that, a lot of defending against Man City and Liverpool. But when they get the ball, they have a very clear identity of what they want to do with it, from what I've seen. And they want to build up the field. And I think that will do better against other teams that are not, $500 million teams like Liverpool and Manchester City. So as far as Sargent's decision, yes, I'm glad he went. It is going to be a good challenge for him. So I'm glad he went. He's going to have to push himself. He's going to have to fight with Pukki for minutes. When he gets minutes, he's going to have to make the most of it, or he'll be benched. That's good for his development. That's good for his personality. That's good for the USMNT, because like I said earlier, we want all of our guys, we want all of our guys playing at the highest possible level and testing themselves. And he will get minutes. Pukki is not Lewandowski, right? Sargent could oust Pukki. Honestly, he could. He could get up there, have a few good games, score some goals, and Pukki's not playing as well. All of a sudden, Sargent's the new number 9. I can see it happening. So I don't think you want your players playing at a level. I know I just said we want them at the highest possible level. Let me clarify. You want players playing at a level that challenges them, but isn't out of their reach. So if Josh Sargent had gone to Manchester City, that might have been a little out of his reach, right? I think Norwich is just a level that challenges him and that forces him to grow and forces him to adapt, but is a very realistic, doable level. So I don't have a problem with it. I don't, honestly. All right. Tyler Adams looked really good this weekend. He is getting hot for qualifying. Yes. And honestly, guys, I think having Tyler Adams is the biggest boon for our qualifying hopes. Honestly. He's a guy who's going to protect that back line, who's going to start, he's going to start attacks. He's going to calm the game down. He's a very good leader on the field. We missed him in Nations League, right? But we looked so much better when he came on. So, yes, definitely yes on Tyler Adams. Let's hope he stays healthy and we don't jinx it. I would also like to see Gio Reyna play centrally, guys, in this camp. I don't think he will, though. I don't think Greg wants to play him there. All right. This is Fullerin Balogun. Would like to see Fullerin Balogun at the World Cup qualifying camp. I haven't really been impressed with him so far. I wouldn't hate it if he was in camp. I'd say get a look at him. But I don't think, I haven't really been impressed with Balogun so far, guys. We need more data. We need more time. Arsenal are a hot mess. I wouldn't hate him being there, but I'm not as excited about him as some people are. Sometimes when someone's a dual national and they're a foreigner, when they play in England, if they're English, if they play for a big club, we tend to rate them a little higher than they are sometimes. All right. Is it true Pulisic could miss the qualifiers? No, he's not going to miss. At best, he'll miss one game, guys. It's going to be just fine. All right. Didn't you just finish recovering from COVID? How long were you out? Yeah, I finished recovering from COVID about a week and a half ago. I was out for about 5-6 days, guys. And then the rest was just feeling a little weak, but I was fine. Okay. Forest, bottom of the table. How long before Horvath becomes the number 1? Good question, Leon. Hopefully soon. It's not just that Forest are bottom of the table. It's that their goalkeeper, Bryce Samba, has not been very good. And if you see Nottingham Forest fans chit-chat online, they're not happy with Samba. He's made some pretty big mistakes. So hopefully soon. Hopefully Horvath gets another game. Matt Murata with a good question here. Anyone had a chance to see Tessman? I know he's getting sub minutes, but how has he looked for Venezia? I didn't see him, so anybody who did watch that game, chime in the comments, and I will put your comment up. This is awesome, guys. I love having this community. Derek Rishi. Here we go. Oh, thank you, Dirk. Sorry. Thank you. Tessman has looked comfortable at Venezia so far. surprising. I haven't seen him, but that doesn't surprise me. I think he's got the tools to do well in Italy. Fallen Phoenix says, he has looked solid, Matt. Hang on. He has looked solid, Matt. Not outstanding, but he held his own. I mean, that's great for a 19-year-old, going to the Serie A for the first time. Holding your own is a great start. That's awesome. Thoughts on the El Salvador national team? Yeah, guys, my only real experience with El Salvador is what we saw in the Gold Cup. They look like a team that is very cohesive, that plays full-blooded intensity, that they're not going to give you time and space. They just lack a little bit of quality. I think they have the right mentality and the right attitude. I'm curious to see, in the Gold Cup, they did a lot of very high pressing. They would press opponents very high. They didn't just sit back and bunker. I'm curious to see if they're going to adopt that same mentality for World Cup qualifying, where there's a lot more on the line. They may sit back and bunker, but whether they press us high or sit back and bunker, I don't think they're going to be an easy team to break down. I think they're going to pose a real challenge for us. So I don't think we should underestimate them. Okay. Paul Monroy. Is Lletget the player that is above Reina in the mid? If so, I don't think Triple G will drop the boy for Gio until he has an atrocious game like Yul. Paul, it appears that way. Lletget, there's no secret. He is one of Berhalter's favorites, and I think he will continue to play in midfield until, like he said, he has an awful game. Greg, though, is capable of changing and adapting. We've seen it. It's a little slow. But I do think that if Reina continues to play like he's been playing for Dortmund in this position, then eventually Greg will give him a try in attacking midfield. I've been asking for this for a year now. So I'm excited that now Dortmund's doing it, right? Because then it's not just crazy Pete with his little ideas. Now, Marco Rosa, one of the most highly, thought of coaches in the Bundesliga, is doing it. Okay, and putting him there over German internationals, right? So now that Dortmund are doing it, hopefully a lot of other people jumped on the bandwagon now, and that's great. Hopefully Greg Berhalter eventually sees it too, because I really think that's been our big weakness, right? If you look at Gold Cup, if you look at Nations League, our big weakness, the thing that was the most obvious, was our inability to create chances from midfield. And I think that Gio Reyna unlocks that ability for us. I think you put him in as an attacking midfielder, switch it to a 4-2-3-1 if you have to, play him as a dual 8 in a 4-3-3 if you have to. He'll be fine. I think it's a game changer for us. And I think when we start seeing Reyna getting regular minutes, look, if he plays there once and doesn't have a good game, we can't overreact and say, oh, he can't play in midfield. Okay? Give him time. He's 18 years old. Let him adapt. He has the quality, he has the talent, he has the ability, he has the vision. I mean, just this last week, we saw him create 3 chances for Dortmund. He should have had a hat trick of assists. 3 chances that were 1v1 with the keeper. One of them, when he was supposedly injured, looks up, puts a gorgeous ball over the top, drops it right onto Haaland's foot, and Haaland volleys it over the bar. But a beautiful ball. In the first half, he had a couple of great, beautiful balls for teammates. There's no reason why he can't play as an attacking midfielder. All right. But thank you, Paul. Leon Jones. What's up with Busio? He's not even on the bench. Does he have a knock? From what I've heard, Busio may be in COVID protocol, but that is just a rumor. I don't know if that's true. If anybody else has heard anything about that, then you can definitely chime in. So, yeah, William Unger says he is rumored to have COVID. We'll see. All right. Let me catch up with all of these. Hugo knows us. Would he handle their high press? Would we handle their high press? Depends how we do it, Dirk. If they press us with 5, 6, 7, 8 guys in defense, then we have to handle it and not try to play around it, right? that's when you look for the space, and the space is, behind. Can we go? We did that in the Gold Cup, right? We didn't expect Mac Turner and Kellen Acosta to try and build from the back under pressure, and that helped them because it suited their game. So I think we would be fine if they high press us. We just have to understand that, when the high press becomes too intense, not only do we risk losing the ball, but also there's space in behind that we can attack. So I think we'll be fine, though. I think, Greg is pragmatic enough to not try and play out of the back anymore under a super intense high press. So let's see. I think Triple G will bring Roldan over Ewell. Oh, God. I don't think we'll see Ewell because we have Acosta. Adams is fit and Acosta is fit. So at the 6, we have 2 guys already. I don't think Greg will bring another one. All right, guys. I am going to sign off in a couple of minutes here. Thanks for coming to hang out. Sorry if I wasn't able to get to everybody's questions. I think we have... It's very exciting to me that we're heading into World Cup qualifying, even if we're missing a few guys with injury. To be honest, most of the guys that we're missing are not crucial to the team, right? Having your main guys there is really important. The only guy who's injured now, who I'm, is obviously a huge player for us, is Christian Pulisic. And I mean, he's not even injured. He has COVID. Adams is fit. McKennie is fit. Reyna is fit. Dest is fit. Brooks is fit. Sargent is fit. So, Richards is fit. Miles Robinson. All these guys. I think the big guys that are going to be there are going to carry us through. If we're missing a Zardes or an Areola or a PFOC or a DK, it's not the end of the world, in my opinion. Nice to have them there as squad depth or whatever. Oh, yeah, Musa, I guess. I would like to have Musa there, too. He's still injured. But again, I don't think it's the end of the world because we have options in midfield. De La Torre, Green, Reyna, Adams, McKennie. Lots of guys who can play in central midfield. So I'm not too worried about missing Musa, to be honest. Tim Ream picked up an injury. Kyle, it's always sucks when somebody picks up an injury. I don't think Tim Ream brings anything to the national team anymore. He literally built his spot on being a left-footed center back and the only guy who could back up John Brooks. Now we have Chris Richards, Miles Robinson, and Mark McKenzie who can all play in that spot if we need to back up John Brooks. So there's no need to bring an aging Tim Ream who has been off the pace for quite some time now. And that was very evident in Nations League. So, all right, guys, how will they handle the heat in Central America? We will see. We will see how they do. But, Pete, don't forget, we have one more club game week to watch anxiously for new injuries. Yes. Yeah, we do. Let's see how that goes. All right, guys. I'm going to sign off here because my throat is starting to bother me. But it was good hanging out with you guys. Thanks for chatting. You guys have a great one. We will talk to you either Tuesday or Thursday or Wednesday. I'll have a video out. The same day that the roster is released, I'll do a video, guys. So we will see how that goes. But I think it's going to be an exciting roster. And it's the first time that we have real World Cup qualifying competition. Get psyched. I think it's going to be a crazy ride, but I think it's going to be fun. And I think we're going to qualify, and I think we're going to do it in the top 2 in the Ocho. I think we're going to be either first or second. So you guys have a great one. Thanks for coming to hang. This was awesome. I will talk to you soon. Peace, guys.